Hello, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast. I am Samuel Reese, pleased to be coming to you live across YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. The time has finally come. It's the United States taking on Costa Rica in the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers, a tournament that was supposed to take place. These qualifiers that were supposed to take place, I should say, a year ago was obviously called off because of the pandemic, but we are here at last. The Olympics would then get postponed a year. And so now the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers are underway. A beautiful sunny afternoon in Guadalajara, Mexico at Estadio Jalisco. The U.S. in navy this afternoon, Costa Rica in white. It's a 3:30 p.m. local time kickoff. Pleased to have you along. There's 2 more spots up for grabs for this summer's Olympics in men's soccer, and those 2 spots are reserved for the CONCACAF. All right, to the starting lineups. First for the United States, it's David Ochoa in goal, Samuel Vines, Mauricio Pineda, Justin Glad, as well as Jackson Ewell in the back line, I should say. And then it's Herrera, Mihailovic, and Dotson in the midfield. Michel, Lewis, and Pereira up top. It's Chamorro in goal for Costa Rica. Roman, Salazar, Fedon, and Smith at the back. Brenes and Alfaro, the holding mids. Leal, Martinez, and Diaz in the midfield. And then up top, it is Manfred Ugalde. So there are the starting lineups for this one. Appreciate all of you tuning in. This should be a fun tournament, but will the United States qualify for the summer's Olympics? That is the question. Remember, it's a U23 tournament, as this is given away in a poor area. Can the U.S. capitalize? No, they can't. It's off the post from Ferreira, and on the follow-up, it's deflected out of play. What a chance that was early on for the United States. Out of nowhere, really. A bit of pressure. Ferreira committing, came away with the steal, and nearly tucked that one home. The post denied him of a goal. Wow, an unbelievable chance early on for the red, white, and blue. He knows that was a great opportunity. Jesus Ferreira, who is a lethal finisher, did impress, I should say, at the last U.S. men's national team camp when they played Trinidad. He had a couple of goals in that game. Jason Kreis, the manager of the United States. Douglas Sequeira in charge of Costa Rica. There are some familiar names from Costa Rica, by the way, for those of you who are fans of MLS. That includes Leal, who's on Nashville, and, of course, another familiar name for this Costa Rica team as the U.S. take it away. I'll get to that in a moment. Is Luis Diaz. Diaz with the Columbus Crew, winning MLS Cup with them. There's a nice turnover. Michel to the goal. The goalkeeper comes out, and Chamorro gets there in time. Now on the rebound, it's Ferreira at the edge of the box. Couldn't get a cross away, and Costa Rica win it back, but it's given right back to the United States. Here is Samuel Vines. Jackson Ewell, by the way, captaining the United States this tournament. And a poor pass out wide, sails out of play for a Costa Rica throw-in. You do have to like the urgent start from the United States. It will be Smith for Costa Rica to take the throw-in. The outside back for this Costa Rica team. A good start for the U.S., though. Remember, it's 2 teams from CONCACAF that qualify to the Olympics for men's soccer. So the winners of each semifinal will punch their ticket into the Olympics this summer in Tokyo. It's 2 groups of 4. The United States in Group A, and the top 2 teams in each group will advance to the semifinals. And with, as I mentioned, those semifinal games being winner take all, those semifinals will be crucial. 5 minutes in, and it's played on the ground, interestingly enough, but no one from the U.S. was expecting it from Jackson Ewell, and it rolls out for a Costa Rica goal kick. And a handball against the United States. Free kick for Costa Rica. Yeah, going back to that last U.S. chance, there was actually a nutmeg from Herrera, but he could not keep possession in the end. But as I said, it's certainly been a bright start for the United States. There's no denying that. And will the U.S. be haunted by the past, or will they turn it around this year? That's the big question. It's a United States team. None of these players, by the way, were in the 2016 Olympic qualifiers camp. But it's a U.S. team who here's a chance for Costa Rica. And a nice close down by Ochoa, the United States keeper, who makes his first stop of the game. Yeah, he came out after Costa Rica won possession in a dangerous area. Nice job by Ochoa. A little bit of a surprise decision by Jason Christ to start Ochoa this afternoon, but he did get the nod. Passes his first test. But what I was saying is this U.S. team has not qualified for the last 2 Olympics. The last time they were in the Olympics for men's soccer was 2008, as Ochoa comes out of his box to clear. So that's why this tournament matters. Not just this qualifying tournament matters, not just because of what I said concerning the heartbreak, the last 2 qualifying campaigns where they failed to advance to the Olympics, but also due to the fact that this is obviously right now a time where the United States have so many good young players, and you can name off several players on this U23 team for the Olympic qualifiers that have already been at a U.S. men's national team camp and will certainly be in the mix going forward. And a lot of players in the past have made their name in the Olympics for the U.S. To really build upon their international careers and take that next step up to the to the senior team, I should say. That's played out of bounds for a U.S. throw. This stadium in Guadalajara, Estadio Jalisco, will be one of 2 stadiums used for this qualifying tournament. The other will be in nearby Zapopan at Estadio Akron. The stadium here, Estadio Jalisco, the home of Chivas Guadalajara, of course. And the stadium hosted the big rivalry between Guadalajara and Club America just 4 days ago, in which Club America won comfortably 3-0. Here come Costa Rica. Ball played forward, and getting there first is Vines. A risky back pass to Ochoa, who knocks it out of play as the pressure arrived. Coming up to take the throw for Costa Rica is Smith. 9 minutes in, no score. The first game of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers in the road to Tokyo. That's going to be a free kick for Costa Rica. It's in a pretty dangerous area as well, as Ugalde was taken out by Mihailovic. 10 minutes played, no score from Guadalajara. Yeah, Mihailovic just fell on top of Ugalde, it appeared. So what an opportunity this is for Costa Rica. Leal of Nashville standing over this free kick, as well as Alfaro. We'll see who ultimately takes it. U.S. with 2 on the wall. A congested 18-yard box as Ochoa gives commands. It is Alfaro who went for goal. Ochoa makes the stop, pairing it over the top of the bar. That ball had a lot of movement on it, I'll tell you that much. This was certainly an ambitious effort from Alfaro, but he certainly tested Ochoa. It will be a corner kick now for Costa Rica. This Group A being called the Group of Death, with Costa Rica, U.S., and Mexico all in it. That corner kick in swinger, punched away by Ochoa. Redirection, and now off to the races is Michel. Or rather, Lewis, and he gets taken out from behind. A free kick awarded, and now both teams getting into it. A bit of pushing and shoving, and one of the assistant referees on the far side has to intervene, calm the tempers, and the yellow card will be handed out here, the first of the match, just 11 minutes in. It is given to Alfaro. So there's our first booking of the match. The stakes are high, folks. Yeah, Michel was trying to break away, and then Alfaro, committing a tactical foul there. The U.S. restart play with the free kick. Here is Pineda. And now Glad finds Pineda, back to Justin Glad. Here is Pineda. For the first time this game, things are starting to slow down a little bit. Here's the cross in, headed away, and now chested forward by Glad, and that'll go out for a Costa Rica throw-in. Header won by the United States, but it's Costa Rica back the other way. A chance down this right-hand side. Cutting back is Smith. He finds Rojas. I mentioned this group containing the U.S., Costa Rica, and Mexico. The other team, if you were wondering, in this group is the Dominican Republic, who can't be overlooked either. And there's a foul committed. It's Alfaro who commits the foul this time around. And it'll be a free kick for the U.S. Hassani Dodson taken out. A late challenge from Alfaro. Here is Pineda. Back to Ochoa. Ochoa way downfield. And Costa Rica win possession back. A bit of pressure here on Alfaro, but Alfaro escapes cleanly. Now it's flicked on by the head of Tristan. Nicely done by Herrera, who draws the foul There's been plenty of them so far. Quarter hour played, no score from Guadalajara, Mexico. Thanks everybody for being a part of this evening's broadcast. That pass out wide is off the mark. Throw in for Costa Rica. There's a collision, another foul called. Seems like both teams are trying to get into a rhythm, but the fouling, the fouling every minute or so has not helped the cause. That's for certain. Well, the best chance yet came 2 minutes in. Jesus Ferreira hitting the post. Goalkeeper under pressure that time. He's able to get it away. Now Costa Rica in possession at midfield. And it's won back by the U.S. Here's Pineda. He gets it back from Glad. Ferreira. And now a bit of pressure, and it's given away in a bad area by Pineda. Here's a chance for Costa Rica. What a save by Ochoa. He denies the opportunity for Tristan. Now it's Costa Rica still with it. Ugalde lays it back, and the attempted cross is blocked. Here come the U.S. the other way. Through ball, played in by Lewis. And at the edge of his box, Rodriguez comes out to secure for Costa Rica. Yeah, Pineda just unaware of the pressure coming, or he might have been aware, but certainly had his pocket picked. And a big-time stop by Ochoa, who made the decision to commit, close down the angle, and that's a superb stop by the United States keeper. Here is Pineda for the United States. No score from Mexico. That ball out of play. Costa Rica quickly take the throw-in. There's been a couple of nervy moments for both teams, in all honesty. And you get the sense that perhaps one mistake for either side could prove to be quite costly and possibly the difference. Header one. Now it's Dotson. Both teams showing signs of nerves early on. See if they settle in as this game continues. Here's Lewis with a nice move. Lewis still going, but a perfectly timed slide tackle takes away that opportunity for Lewis. Great defending by Smith, the right back for Costa Rica. It will be Smith to take the throw in here. Costa Rica are certainly a team that's not lacking confidence coming in. Another free kick awarded to Costa Rica as Mihailovic committed the foul. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Much appreciated across YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. There's the pass and a late tackle from Glad, and he'll be booked for the offense. Second booking of the game. One for Costa Rica, and now one for the United States. Let's take a look back. Yeah, he was a step late, wasn't he? And so a booking for Glad. Free kick for Costa Rica. Just under 20 minutes played. 0-0 in this Group A encounter. Thrown on the far side for Costa Rica. Alfaro will take it. This is going to go all the way through. Making the run was Luis Diaz of the Columbus Crew. He was a regular contributor off the bench for Costa Rica. For Columbus, excuse me. And now starting for this Costa Rica U23 side at the Olympic Qualifiers. Now it's back to the keeper of Costa Rica, Rodriguez. And that sails over the head of Smith. An unforced turnover. And a quick throw taken by Samuel Vines. Here's Glad. Ahead for Dotson. And a foul on the far side. Committed by Alfaro. Michel just so electric on the ball. The Orlando City player. And now an opportunity for a possible free kick goal. Here's Mihailovic standing over the free kick. Sends it over the wall, headed away right at the 6-yard box. And it will be a corner kick, first of the afternoon for the United States. Yeah, that free kick was delivered to a very dangerous spot. The U.S. knocking on the doorstep, but no score yet. It will be Mihailovic, who just took the free kick, will take this corner kick. Midway point of the first half, no score in Guadalajara. For the corners taken, the referee will talk things over with both Rojas and Dotson. And now here comes the delivery from Mihailovic. To the near post, the header's just wide. What a chance for Glad, who made the run to the near post. And he wasn't too far off target, was he? Yeah, he was left unmarked. Justin Glad. The header, though, just off target into the side netting. But the U.S. certainly showing some promising signs in the early stages. That goes out of play for a U.S. throw. It's taken by Vines. There's 3 group stage matches for each team. You play the other 3 teams in your group once, and the top two teams from groups A and B move on to those so crucial semifinals. And then the winner of each semifinal will qualify for Tokyo 2020, which will take place in 2021 due to the Olympics being postponed by a year. Let's go back to that header by Glad. Yeah, he was completely unmarked. This ball was, did have potential. He had the right idea trying to tuck it into the near post. And another foul committed, this time by Alfaro. And he's already on a yellow, keep in mind. He's got to be careful. Just about a quarter into the game, and he's already running a thin line. Yeah, that's a late tackle, certainly, from Alfaro. Jackson Ewell takes the free kick. Look at that. Nick Raimondo himself, the U.S. men's national team goalkeeper legend, tweeting, Ocho really showing early. Referencing, of course, Ochoa, the goalkeeper for the United States. Yep, some big stops early on from the United States goalkeeper. He certainly has been the player of the game up until this point. And due to the extreme heat during the day in Guadalajara, Mexico, there are hydration breaks about midway through each half. And so referee decides to take one now. 25 minutes played and no score between the United States and Costa Rica. Game one of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. All of the other regions have completed their Olympic Qualifiers. CONCACAF are the last ones remaining. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying. You guys know I'm a big U.S. soccer fan, both men's and women's national team. And obviously this is a bit different with the U23s in the Olympic qualifiers, but still just as big of a deal since there is a spot in the Olympics on the line. But yeah, so far through 25 minutes, we've seen some nerves. Overall, it's been pretty open. Both teams have had some good opportunities, but certainly the player of the game is Ochoa. He'll be the big talking point, undoubtedly, or at least up to this point he has been. Some big-time stops. Costa Rica could easily have a goal by now. The same could be said for the U.S., who hit the post just 2 minutes in on an effort from Jesus Ferreira. And this is out for a Costa Rica throw. It'll be Smith to take it as we are out of the hydration break. Play resumes. 27 minutes gone in the opening half. This goes out wide for Alfaro. Challenge from behind and a clean one, according to the official. Luis Diaz stripped of possession. Now here is Glad. That's given right back to Costa Rica. On Sunday, on the second match day for Group A, it'll be Costa Rica taking on Mexico in what promises to be a great clash. And the U.S. will take on the Dominican Republic. It's 2 days between games throughout the tournament, except between the semifinals and final. It's just 1 day in between. The semifinals next Sunday and then the final next Tuesday. It's a really quick tournament that is completed in the span of 12 days. Here is Smith to take the Costa Rica throw-in. Header by Vines. And a smart decision by Smith to play it off of the U.S. and win the throw-in. As I mentioned, Douglas Sequeira is the head coach of Costa Rica. Jason Kreis, who is in charge of the U.S. He's been part of the U.S. coaching staff in various roles for a while now. Here's Pineda to take the free kick. A lot of these U.S. players do play domestically in MLS. I believe 11 MLS clubs are represented at these CONCACAF Olympic qualifiers on the U.S. national team. There are some players who play in Europe, but mainly that's not the case because European clubs, the European season, of course, in progress right now, and a lot of the European clubs did not release their players because they have the right to hold on to them. For example, Tyler Adams and Christian Pulisic, they're both eligible to play for this team since they're both under the age of 23, but their respective clubs held on to them since we are in the middle of the club season. For Costa Rica, a lot of these players play in the Costa Rican League. Some in MLS, as I mentioned, like Leal, of course, and Diaz, for example. But for the most part, and most of them play for Costa Rica, a lot of them for the powerhouse club Alajuelense. And they're in mid-season right now. A lot of them playing 3 games a week on a regular basis. And looking to get through here, but unable to, was Herrera. Costa Rica send it downfield, and that's out for a U.S. throw. Just over half an hour in, 0-0 between the United States and Costa Rica in the opening game of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. Who will fulfill those final 2 spots up for grabs in the 16-team field this summer in Tokyo at the Olympics? We know the European, African, Oceanian, and Asian, as well as South American representatives for men's soccer at this summer's Olympics. But CONCACAF still up for grabs. 2 teams will qualify, and we will know those 2 teams by next weekend. Will the U.S. be one of them? They haven't been the last 2 times around. Dotson met by Alfaro, who stepped up. It's out for a U.S. throw-in. The stakes certainly high. And it's definitely an exciting time to be a U.S. men's national team fan. And this is really it is the first time since the pandemic that the U.S., all by the U23 team, are playing a competitive game. The senior team, of course, will be rather soon. They've got 2 friendlies coming up. The roster for those friendlies were released yesterday. Those 2 friendlies next week, actually, as that cross is cut out. A timely intervention from Aaron Herrera. It will be a Costa Rica corner kick. Costa Rica now the ones threatening. But as I was saying, for the senior team, it'll be, after these 2 friendlies coming up, competitive action next time around in June when they have the CONCACAF Nations League semifinal against Honduras, and then hopefully a final as well after that. And then the competitive games keep coming. It'll be the Gold Cup this summer, the Olympics, hopefully, as long as this team qualifies actually while the Gold Cup is taking place. And then after the Olympics in the fall, it'll be the start of World Cup qualifiers. So a busy schedule ahead, no doubt about that. Yeah, Americans know how to play football, Alex. Absolutely. We've got a promising generation as this is sent into the back post. There's the shot. There's the goal. The United States take the lead. It's Ferreira for the U.S. And the United States strike first against Costa Rica 34 minutes in the opening game of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers It's Jesus Ferreira on the one-time finish who puts the U.S. in the lead 1-0, 35 minutes in. Well, the moment was coming sooner rather than later, wasn't it? The cross sent in from the left-hand side by Samuel Vines. It got somehow all the way through to the back post where Ferreira was lurking. He went unmarked, still a composed finish, slotting it into the right corner. No chance Chamorro was getting to it. And Ferreira with the celebration, and the United States strike first. A big first goal. And it's Ferreira in the 35th minute who scores the first goal of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. 1-0, U.S. take the lead. Well, there you go, Alex. Americans do know how to play football. No, I'm just kidding. But right when you said that, they scored. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it's not the popular sport here in the U.S. However, the sport is growing. Got a very promising and young pool of talent that certainly can impress in some major tournaments, I think, going forward. My eye really is set on that 2026 World Cup, which will be here in the U.S. Here's the corner sent to the near post. Flicked on, and now all the way on the far side. It's floated in, headed by Vines, and Lewis gets there for the U.S., clearing only as far as Alfaro. And now the through ball too far ahead for Leal of Nashville SC. And it will be a goal kick. There are fans in attendance, by the way, a very limited amount, but there are fans in attendance at Estadio Jalisco in Guadalajara, Mexico. I don't know the exact amount they've allowed inside, but it seems like very few. Maybe a couple thousand, but that's maybe 1,000 to 2,000, but that seems to be it. Here's Jonathan Lewis, floats in the cross, headed out of the 18 by Costa Rica. Now it's Luis Diaz, and a free kick will be awarded. Herrera committing the foul. He's in disbelief that the foul was called. It's a quick restart taken by Costa Rica. Well, we are into the latter stages of the first half. The U.S. with a 1-goal lead down the right wing. Here come Costa Rica looking for the equalizer. Smith into Martinez. Martinez still going. And the cross cut out in the end by Pineda. It will be another corner for Costa Rica. It certainly has been a relatively evenly matched first half between these two teams. But the U.S. broke through first. This is the fourth corner of the afternoon for Costa Rica. And we'll see what type of delivery can be sent in. It'll be a left-footed in-swinging delivery. Header. And it's in, but surely it's offsides. And it is. The flag raised. Tristan with the header. However, he was offsides by quite a bit, it appeared. Yep, no doubt. That's a couple yards offsides. An easy decision that for the referee. But it was headed, the original header right at the edge of the box was certainly put into a dangerous area. But the U.S. did a good job stepping up and forcing Tristan into an offside position. Here come the U.S. flying down the right-hand side. It's Aaron Herrera. Now it's wide on the other side with Samuel Vines. Now it's Jonathan Lewis. Lewis to the byline. shielding the ball, and eventually falls down with Tristan. Still with possession, and now a foul will be called against Lewis. Doesn't look like the pitch is in the best of conditions, by the way. Seems to be a bit dug up, especially in the corners. Lewis had the ball between his legs when all was said and done. Free kick is awarded. 5 minutes remain in the opening half. The U.S. with a 1-0 lead over Costa Rica. Jesus Ferreira, who shone in that game against Trinidad back at the end of January, I believe it was, scoring the opener for the U.S. That's played into Michel, but he is in an offside position. The flag raised by the AR. Hope all of you are enjoying the broadcast and enjoying your Thursday. It was a 3:30 p.m. local time start, 5:30 Eastern. Spinning off the defender. Here is Lewis. Lewis is in. Lewis cuts it back, and it's cleared away inside the 6. Another threat posed by the U.S. And Costa Rica, in the end, defended nicely. Lewis accelerating to the end line, trying to set up a teammate. You can tell the red, white, and blue want another one before the half comes to a close. After some nerves early on from both teams starting to set in. And we're seeing that here as we get into the final stages of the opening half. Here's Pineda. Now Glad plays it out wide. Down the right-hand side, Herrera finds Michel. Ball play to the penalty spot where Alfaro managed to clear. Out it goes for a U.S. throw taken by Glad, the right back for the U.S. Pineda to Glad. There's a great ball. Played into Herrera. Over to Lewis, but it couldn't get through. Stolen by Costa Rica. But a nice job stepping up for the steal by Jackson Ewell, the captain of this team. By the way, this will be more how should I phrase it, valuable, I guess, in the second half to know. But there are 5 substitutions allowed for each team in this tournament for each game, as Michel lost it and then took down Leal. Free kick for Costa Rica. We're 2 minutes from first half stoppage time in Guadalajara. And while they were showing the replay, another foul was committed. This time, Ugalde taken down by Pineda, it appears. Pineda has a talking to with the referee. Ball put back in play by Alfaro. Time winding down in this opening half of play. Alfaro back to Tristan. Reminder that coming up at 8 Eastern time, it's the host Mexico taking on the Dominican Republic in the other Group A matchup. Interested to see how that Mexico team looks. I believe every single player on the roster plays in Liga MX. Here is Luis Diaz of the Columbus Crew. Diaz in the box. In the end, the cross goes right into the hands of Ochoa. We'll see how much time is added on as we close in on the 45-minute mark. Here is Samuel Vines. Vines back to Pineda. And there's our answer. 2 minutes of stoppage time here in the opening half of play. So 2 minutes added on. It's the U.S. with a 1-0 lead over Costa Rica. Glad finds Michel. Now back with Glad. Across the back, he finds the center back Pineda. Now it's Vines. Lewis back for Vines. A nice 1-2 combination. It was cut out in the end by Smith, but the U.S. back in possession. It's had a majority of the possession in the final quarter hour of this half. Ball played in. The cross escaped the keeper, but no one there at the back post. It was a pretty good service from Herrera, but it seemed like Chamorro would get to it, but he did not. Fortunately for Costa Rica, there was no one lurking at the back post for the United States. Now 45 seconds remaining in the half. Throw-in taken by Smith, and it's won by the U.S. The intended through ball by Ewell is cut out. And now making the run was Ugald. It's back with the U.S. and losing focus there was Herrera. Can Costa Rica create one last chance before halftime? About 10 seconds remain in the half. It looks like Costa Rica will just hold on as Smith is in possession, and there's the halftime whistle. So after 45 minutes of play, it's the United States with a 1-0 lead over Costa Rica. It was a 35th minute goal from Jesus Ferreira that put the red, white, and blue in the lead. It's the opening game of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. I'm back for the halftime report in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Welcome into the halftime report, everybody. After 45 minutes of play, it's the United States leading Costa Rica 1-0 in Group A action in the CONCACAF Men's Olympic Qualifiers. Jesus Ferreira with the goal for the U.S. 35 minutes in, and it's a positive start overall for this U.S. team in the first game of these qualifiers. Let's go over the first half highlights quickly, shall we? The action certainly wasn't lacking, especially early on. 2 minutes in, a giveaway at the back, and the U.S. nearly able to capitalize. Ferreira would hit the post. That would be a sign of more opportunities to come, though, for Ferreira, as I touched on. I'll get to more of that later. The U.S. would have a similar giveaway later on in the first half, as it was stripped away from Pineda, and nearly able to finish was Martinez. A brilliant save, though, from David Ochoa, the goalkeeper for the U.S. It wouldn't be his first great save of the afternoon, I'll tell you that much. The U.S. would have plenty of more chances, and in the 35th minute, the one would finally come where they'd break through. The cross sent in from the left wing by Samuel Vines, and Jesus Ferreira making the run to the back post at the right place at the right time. The one-time finish, and the U.S. with the lead at the break. A couple of first-half stats for you. The total shots, 6-3 Costa Rica. They actually have the edge in shots on goal, 4-1. So the one shot on goal for the U.S. has gone in. It was a bit of a crazy goal, really. Somehow the cross from Vines all the way from the sideline got through to the back post. I don't know how it wasn't cut out by a Costa Rica player, but give credit to Ferreira. A nice composed finish by the United States striker, and he has been feeling it lately. He's had a great past year at the club and international level, and the U.S. lead Costa Rica at the break. Coming up, I'll talk about the USA senior team. They've got some important friendlies coming up next week, and I'll highlight as well Yunus Musa, who did commit to the U.S. That was big news. Thank you, Shingo. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The game already started. It started at 5:30 Eastern time, where I am, and it's currently halftime. So the U.S. lead 1-0 at the half. Thanks for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. And it is halftime right now. The second half is coming up shortly. So I'll be back after this break. Stay tuned. The halftime report continues in a moment. Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. The second half will be coming up in about 6 or 7 minutes. So stay tuned. Welcome back into the broadcast, everybody, and welcome back into the halftime report. The U.S. leading Costa Rica in the opening game of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers as 8 teams battled for 2 spots. Those 2 spots remaining for the Olympics this summer in Tokyo for men's soccer. But going away from the U23 team here for the Olympic qualifiers, talking about the senior team, of course, there was big news a couple days ago. Yunus Musa has committed to the United States. Huge news, in fact. And their second international friendly will take place Sunday, March 28th. I'll be on the call for it as the U.S. take on Northern Ireland at noon Eastern time. I'm looking forward to that game very much so. And I'm looking forward to the U.S. men's national team getting back in action, even if it is a friendly. I can't wait. After the break, it's the second half of the U.S. and Costa Rica. Don't go anywhere. We've got 45 more minutes on the way next. It's the U.S. with a 1-0 lead heading into the second half. Welcome back in, everybody. Thanks for stopping by on this Thursday, the opening game of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers taking place. And later tonight, it's the other match in Group A as Mexico take on the Dominican Republic. That's tonight, 8 Eastern time. And that's a good question, Alex. What is my favorite club? So I live in the U.S. I don't know about you, but I live in the United States. So my favorite club in MLS is the New England Revolution. I live about 10 minutes from Gillette Stadium where they play. So I'm a big Revolution fan in MLS. But I also follow European soccer quite closely. My dad's from Portugal, so my favorite team in Portugal is Porto. Chelsea are my favorite team in the Premier League as well. And yeah, I'm not like a diehard fan for European clubs just because I'm from the U.S. I mean, I follow clubs and I like Porto and Chelsea a lot, but I love European soccer. I watch a ton of leagues in Europe. I love watching European soccer. The Champions League is awesome. I commentate a lot. I've commentated quite a number of Champions League games, actually. Just this past Tuesday, I did Atalanta, Real Madrid, and the week before Porto, Juventus. But yeah, mainly when it comes to European soccer, I'm more of a neutral fan who just likes watching it. But yeah, when it comes to my local club is the New England Revolution for MLS, so I'm a big Revolution fan, that's for sure. All right, the second half is underway. I can tell by your icon you're probably a Dortmund fan, which if I had to pick a team in Germany, Dortmund are the one I like the most. I kind of fell in love with Dortmund when they got Pulisic, because Pulisic's American, of course. And even though Pulisic's left Dortmund since, I still like Dortmund. I have a Dortmund kit still. It doesn't really fit me anymore, but I still have one. All right, Costa Rica in possession, trailing by a goal as the second half is underway. Here's Martinez. He will get there. Now back to Leal. Leal, who plays for Nashville in MLS. He scored some cracking goals this past season for Nashville. Here's the cross in, laid back, the chance, and the shot's blocked in the end. Getting in the way was Mauricio Pineda, the center back for the U.S. Costa Rica certainly wasting no time to start the second half, though. Here is Alberto Alfaro. Now it's played back to Chamorro, the keeper for Costa Rica. Obviously, if you win your first group game, you're usually usually put yourself in a pretty good position to finish in the top two and go through. Here's a strike and a right-hand save. David Ochoa comes up big again for the United States. The pressure being applied by Costa Rica. It was Leal with the opportunity. Ochoa with another strong save. He's been brilliant so far this afternoon. Here now, in the middle, is Rojas. And Rojas goes for goal from a ways out. Nowhere near finding the target. That was quite an ambitious effort, to say the least. And no pressure on the ball initially on that Leal opportunity. It was a nice change of pace, though, from Leal. A little step over and then creating space and certainly testing Ochoa, who was up to the task. Excuse me. Here's a long ball sent forward. It does sail out of play for a Costa Rica throw-in. Up next for Costa Rica will be Mexico Sunday night. Preceding that on Sunday night will be the U.S. and the Dominican Republic. That's stolen on the near side by Aaron Herrera. It is off of him last for a Costa Rica throw. The humidity certainly a factor, and the heat. Hence the hydration breaks we have each half. Here comes Costa Rica in the box again. It is a corner kick. Upcoming. Costa Rica certainly threatening in the early stages of the second half of play. On the bench for the United States include Marcinkowski, Araujo, Kessler, Saucedo, Tessman, Freeze, Perea, Cardoso, and Soto. Those are some big names, and that's some great talent available off the bench for the U.S. that we certainly could see later in this game. What a touch that was from Martinez in the slide tackle. Perfectly timed by Justin Glad. Out for a Costa Rica throw. 5 minutes gone in the second half. The U.S. have the lead, but Costa Rica certainly the better side to start the second half. And that's turned over. Here's a chance. The one-time shot blocked on the effort by Alfaro. Shot from distance. So Choa makes the save and is quick to cover up the rebound. But my goodness, it's a whole different story to start the second half, isn't it? Yeah, the U.S. having a difficult time trying to play out of the back. There's been some careless passing. They certainly have to be careful. Oh, you're from Morelia, Mexico. Okay, got it. Yep, your hometown team is Atletico Morelia. Yep. I follow Liga MX a little bit. I don't watch it a ton, like not nearly as much as MLS, although it's arguably a better league. I watch Liga MX a little bit. Like the other night, I watched the Chivas Club America game. Yeah, you guys did win that's right. You did win the North American Superliga in 2010 against the Revolution. Yeah, yep. You're absolutely right. The good old Superliga days. I was pretty young then, but I remember it a bit because the Revolution won it one year, I think. And then, yeah, that other year when they made it to the final, they lost to your club. Yeah. Oh, that ball played across, goes over the end line for a goal kick. It was put into a dangerous area by Espinoza. But, yeah, very good. Very good, Alex. Yeah. I mainly when I watch Mexican teams play, it's in the CONCACAF Champions League, to be honest. The CONCACAF Champions League I love. I mean, I've been frustrated that MLS teams haven't been able to pull through. It's been very frustrating. Even this past CONCACAF Champions League was LAFC were on the verge of beating Tigres. But yeah, it's certainly there's something about the U.S.-Mexico rivalry, even in club soccer in the CONCACAF Champions League. It's there's something about it that's really special, And of course, on the international stage, U.S.-Mexico, just a phenomenal rivalry. So obviously, I don't like I don't like the Mexican national team as a U.S. fan. I despise them actually. But hey, as a diehard U.S. men's national team fan, there's no option but to hate Mexico in international soccer. Okay, you're not a Dortmund fan. You just like that photo of Aubameyang. Okay, I see. That's right. I remember when Aubameyang, put on the Spider-Man costume. Yep. That is a good photo as Jonathan Lewis is fouled. Free kick on the way for the U.S. Yeah, I've you prefer Real Madrid? Okay, yep. Yeah. I like Real Madrid. They're my favorite team in La Liga. Yeah, I like them a lot when Ronaldo was there. I still like them, but it hurt me that Ronaldo left since I'm Portuguese. But here's a free kick over the wall and just wide. Not too far off was Mihalovic. 10 minutes into the second half, 1-0 U.S. lead. Thanks, everyone, for being a part of this afternoon's broadcast. Well, it's now the evening where I am, 6:48 my time, 4:48 local time in Guadalajara. Yeah, I've never been to Mexico, Alex, but I'd like to go one of these times. Actually, the only foreign country I've been to is Portugal. I haven't even been. I live in the northeastern part of the U.S. In the state of Massachusetts. So I'm not that far away from Canada, to be honest. But I haven't even gone to Canada. As this is out for another Costa Rica corner kick. That's a good question. Who did I support in the 2014 World Cup, Portugal or the U.S.? I mean, I was rooting for both of them, but since they were in the same group, they obviously faced each other, and so that was tough. I was pulling for the U.S. if I'm honest, because I was born here in the U.S. My dad is from Portugal, So I do really like Portugal. I'm a big Portugal fan as well. But I had to root for the country I was born in. Plus, Portugal were expected to win that game. Portugal were expected to win that game. So the U.S. were the underdogs coming in. So I was pulling for the U.S. to pull off the upset because Portugal coming in were expected to win that one. But yeah, that's a good question. I remember that game very well. 2-2, that late goal by Portugal tied it. That was a fantastic game. It really was. Yeah, the U.S. should have won that game, but did not. But in the end, both of them got through to the knockout stages. Here come the U.S. A nice steal. Michel driving forward, and a great tackle there, perfectly timed by Leal, tracking back defensively. It's been a very open game, this. It certainly has. On the near side, it's Alberto Alfaro. Alfaro finds Rojas. Now here is the other Alfaro, the one on the yellow card right now. He got that, just 8 minutes or so into the match. We're closing in on the hour mark. Still no changes made by either team. I'm sure that will not be the case in a couple minutes' time. 5 substitutions are available. The in-swinging delivery by Alfaro, headed out of the box by the U.S. U.S. lead by a goal. I wouldn't say cling on to the lead, but certainly by the way the second half has started, Costa Rica have had a lot of the possession and are certainly knocking on the door. Here is Alfaro. Alfaro will switch fields, but it's too far for Luis Diaz. And now to play for U.S. throw-in. And just as I said a minute ago, that there would probably be a substitution any minute now. Here they come. A double change from Jason Kreis as Michel will come off for Saucedo. Sebastian Saucedo. So Saucedo comes on for the U.S. As I mentioned, a plethora of options for Jason Kreis. A lot of these players on the bench certainly capable of starting. And Mihalovic will come off for Perea of Orlando City. Mihalovic looked pretty good in this game. He certainly created some dangerous opportunities. But he makes way for Perea, and now Costa Rica will make a couple of changes themselves as we've played 59 minutes in Guadalajara. It will be Ugalde coming off for Torres. So that's one of the changes, and we'll see what the other one is. It will be... well, we'll see. I can't quite tell who that is coming in for Costa Rica. Oh, they're going to hold up the substitution. Oh, there we go. They fixed it. Yeah, they had a 20 up on the scoreboard, and I was very confused. That's because there was no 20 on the pitch. There we go. They fixed it to 5. I was getting confused for a moment. It will be Montenegro coming on for Rojas. So there's the double change from both teams. Oh, you were looking for the game because they're in Mexico. It's not on TV. Really? They're not televising in Mexico. Wow. Well, this is actually the first time the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers are have been televised ever in the U.S. Or at least in English language. Yeah, it's so we're fortunate here in the U.S. that they have it. They have all the games televised. As this is sent in, Ferreira with a chance outside of the right foot, but it just goes wide. It fell for Saucedo, who just came in. He found Ferreira, who was not too far away. But so you found my broadcast looking for the game. I appreciate that. Yeah, I cannot show the game because of copyright reasons. My account would be suspended if I actually showed the game itself. So I apologize for that, but I still appreciate you joining the broadcast, Alex. And you won't miss a moment with my commentary here. So at least you'll get, you're getting basically a radio play-by-play broadcast of the match. It's the next best thing to actually watching it, right? Here's Costa Rica. A nice move to get around Glad, and it'll be a foul against Costa Rica for simulation. It was Diaz who went down too easily. And he will be booked. Luis Diaz called for the flop. Yeah, let's see the replay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Glad didn't even touch him. That's good refereeing right there. That really is. Yeah, I know. I feel bad because I know people look for the game on like YouTube and stuff, but I can't show it. That's why I put in my description. It's play-by-play commentary of the game. By the way, the U.S. remaining group stage matches will be Sunday 7 Eastern time against the Dominican Republic, and then the big one Wednesday at 9:30 when they take on Mexico in a rivalry game. That should live up to the hype. But yeah, because I have a number of people come to my broadcast and ask me to actually show the game, and I have to explain that I can't for copyright reasons, but it is what it is, as that's played ahead, and it's out for U.S. throw. 63 minutes in, 1-0 U.S. lead. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Greatly appreciated, as always. It's turning into a pretty good game, as expected. Here's a shot from distance. Oh, it's just wide. What a chance. What a strike from way out. That was a confident strike, to say the least, from the captain, Jackson Ewell. Yeah, that's a good question. Who do I think is the footballer that is the most promising for the U.S. national team? For you, it's Serginho Dest. Yeah, I think Dest is definitely in the mix for that conversation. Obviously, you have to put Pulisic in that conversation. McKennie, he's been brilliant at Juventus. Yeah, they're the most promising. I'd probably say McKennie at the moment, if I'm being honest. Thank you, I appreciate it. Shingo Yabuki. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Glad you're enjoying the broadcast. I'm glad to bring it to you. I love doing commentary of games. But yeah, there's a lot of promising players. I'm telling you, the U.S. are. First, we got to get that core group to play together more, which they will in these upcoming friendlies against Jamaica and Northern Ireland. And then we've got some big competitions this summer. But yeah, the future is bright for the U.S. That's for sure. That was a chance for Montenegro, cleared by the U.S. Costa Rica back in possession. In the middle, it's passed out wide. On the near side, it's Alfaro. Alfaro has his pocket picked. A nice steal. And now the U.S. come. Through ball. In on goal is Ferreira. What a save. A big-time stop at the edge of the box by Chamorro. And once again, Ferreira on the verge of a second goal, but he'll have to wait. And now they're calling for the stretcher. I believe Ferreira, yeah, he was taken down after the save was made. Chamorro got all ball on the save, but on the follow-through, Ferreira got wiped out. And the referee's signaling for the stretcher as well. Although, hopefully it's nothing too serious. Yeah, Ferreira didn't go down immediately, actually, but then he fell. I think maybe it's just cramping. Who knows? But the athletic trainers are out. The stretcher as well. Hopefully this is nothing serious. From his reaction, it looked like it might be just a cramp. I hope that's all it is, because Ferreira has been absolutely spectacular for the U.S., scoring the lone goal. He will get up on his own. It doesn't seem to be anything too serious. Yeah, the way he's walking, it seems like it's a cramp on his left foot. Yeah, McKennie seems the real deal. When he made the move to Juventus, I was like, I don't know if he's gonna play that much. And what do you know? He's been spectacular for them. He's fit right in. Yeah, Pulisic hasn't been what was expected from him. I mean, I just feel like there was so much hype on Pulisic, like too much. You know, he's still young. You know, I think we've got to be a little bit more patient. I mean, he's a phenomenal player. He really is. As Ferreira will have to come out because of that injury, by the way. So Sebastian Soto is his replacement. Third substitution made by Jason Kreis this afternoon. Here come Costa Rica again. Cut to the left foot. The strike just wide. Wow. Luis Diaz puts it marginally wide of the far post. Not too far away whatsoever. Wow. Well, I'm certainly familiar with Diaz. I follow MLS very closely. And Diaz played a prominent role for the Columbus Crew, who won MLS Cup this past season, trying to pick out that far post. It's a good effort on the left foot. And he knows how good of a chance that was. The shot's 10-7 in favor of Costa Rica, yet the U.S. still with a 1-0 lead. Look at the shots on goal. 7-2 Costa Rica. We're 3/4 through the match. Here come the U.S. the other way. Correa into Vines. Chucky Lozano is better. Debatable. No, Lozano is really good. He's fantastic. But yeah, like Pulisic, when he's been fully healthy and has played consistently for Chelsea at times, he's been fantastic for them. At times, he's been Chelsea's best player. But he needs to find that consistency. He needs to stay healthy. And then I don't know what the situation is with Tuchel not giving him much playing time at the moment. But, you know, it'll take some more patience. He still is very young. And I still think the future is bright for Pulisic. As Saucedo's fouled. Free kick awarded to the U.S. Just over 20 minutes to go, and this game could very well come down to the wire. It's a close one in Guadalajara. Jackson Ewell now into Saucedo. Ewell once again cutting back inside, looking for Jonathan Lewis. Now it's back with Ewell. And once again, the intended target is Lewis, but it's cut out by the head of Alfaro. A U.S. throw-in on the way on this near side. 70 minutes in, 1-0 U.S. lead over Costa Rica in the opening match of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. These qualifiers were supposed to take place about exactly a year ago, in fact. And the U.S. in particular, and I'm sure all the other teams, the U.S. I know for sure, they were down in Mexico for a week preparing for these qualifiers when the pandemic hit. After a week down there, that's when the pandemic came and the tournament was called off, as Costa Rica will make their third change as Martinez enters the match, or rather Martinez exits the match, excuse me. And Leal will as well. It'll be Yoria coming on for him, and we'll now have our second half hydration break. All right, so 70 minutes in, folks. This game certainly hasn't disappointed. This was supposed to be a very competitive game between two countries that certainly have their ambitions set on qualifying for the Olympics this summer in Tokyo. Well, obviously all 8 teams do, but these two teams are teams with a legitimate shot at doing that. But it's the group of death for a reason, because along with these two teams, Mexico are also in the group. So one of the U.S., Mexico, and Costa Rica will not go through to the semifinals. And the U.S. at this point, just to close out, need to do what they got to do. The score line doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pretty. They just have to grind out the result here. Yeah, that's true. Obviously, for you as a Mexican, you don't like the U.S. national team, but yeah, it is good for CONCACAF that we've got a bright future ahead, and the U.S. should be much more competitive in international competitions for sure. And the same, I say the same for Mexico. When or if Mexico, do well in the World Cup. I don't like Mexico, but they're representing CONCACAF. You know what I mean? And that goes for all things, pretty much. Like in the CONCACAF Champions League, if the Revolution aren't in it, I'm cheering for all of the MLS teams. But when an MLS team didn't win this past CONCACAF Champions League, I was pulling for Tigres at the Club World Cup because they were representative of CONCACAF. You know what I mean? Even though they're a Mexican team. So, yep, Jamaica. Yeah, Jamaica can also have a great team. You're right. They are calling up some players from the Premier League. Here's a free kick for Costa Rica over the wall, and the save is made by Ochoa. That strike from distance, but in the end, Ochoa makes the stop. A clean sheet for him so far. He's had a solid afternoon, but still a little over a quarter hour remains. Since the Olympics did get delayed by a year, even though it's supposed to be under 23, there are some 23-year-olds that are participating in these qualifiers, and that will be participating in the Olympics this summer. They didn't, despite the Olympics getting postponed by a year, they didn't change the age requirement, because that would be, a bit harsh for those players that were 22 last year. as that's flipped in towards Montenegro. Ochoa comes out and holds on, and he got taken out afterwards. He's down in quite a bit of pain, and he will require medical attention. By the way, replacing Martinez was Marin. So it was Marin who came in for Martinez. That was the Costa Rica change. You guess USA, Mexico for the finals? Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. That's how I think it'll ultimately pan out, but you never know, do you? I mean, the U.S., the last two Olympic qualifiers have failed to make the Olympics. It's been, back-to-back disappointments, but hopefully that's not the case this time around. I don't think it will be. Obviously, U.S. and Mexico should be the finals. I think that would be a lot of people's pick to be the final in this tournament, but you never know. Yeah, Jamaica is practically little UK. You're right. Yeah, Jamaica surprisingly aren't in these Olympic qualifiers. I was surprised to see that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that is, but yeah, I mean, and the winners of the two semifinals will make it to the Olympics. By the way, so you're probably wondering, then what's the point of the final? Well, I guess it's for a medal at the end of the day. You'll be the winner of the final will be crowned CONCACAF Olympic qualifier champion. The winner will be CONCACAF champions. So I suppose you're playing for pride, even though the semifinal is in a funny way more crucial than the final in this competition. Free kick for Costa Rica, still searching for their first goal of the match. That ball played out wide, but unable to get there is Torres. That ball falls through to Soto, but it's cleanly won by Costa Rica. Here's Salazar, and he's taken down by Jackson Ewell. There's been a lot of fouls. I don't know the exact foul count, but there's been a number of them committed by both teams. Once again, Costa Rica cheaply give it away as that sails over the head of Marin. Well, Costa Rica are the ones dominating possession in the second half, folks, and they've still been unable to get that game-tying goal. The U.S. just trying to see this game out. Wow, interestingly enough, the overall possession in this game is only slightly in favor of Costa Rica. Very slightly, in fact, 51 to 49%. It feels like a lot more than that. In the second half, I'm sure it's more like not 60-40 maybe, but at least 55-45. Two more available substitutions for the U.S., one for Costa Rica, as we are into the 78th minute, a one-goal lead that the U.S. have held on to since the 35th minute when Jesus Ferreira scored on a one-time strike, I should say. Here is Alfaro. Now down the right wing, it's Torres stumbling over, stays upright, and Luis Diaz, in the end, ran out of room. It's last off of him, goal kick U.S., in which Ochoa will be in no rush to take. It looked like Diaz wanted the foul to be called, but did not get it. There are fans in attendance, by the way, as I mentioned earlier, a very limited amount. A lot of the fans with this tournament being in Mexico are Mexican fans getting ready for the game later against the Dominican Republic. The game against the Dominican Republic I believe, is at the other stadium, Estadio Akron. But I have seen some Mexico jerseys in the crowd nonetheless. There are some U.S. fans that I've spotted in the stands. Who's playing better right now? The second half, Costa Rica. Costa Rica has been playing better, although not by a ton. It's not like they've been completely outplaying the U.S., but they've certainly had more of the chances and more of the possession. Yeah, the second half certainly has been in favor of Costa Rica, yet they still trail by a goal. This is played out wide by Salazar. Diaz to Torres. Now Torres to the back post. Headed away by Aaron Herrera of the U.S. And that's going to be a foul called against Sebastian Soto. I don't know if there was much in that challenge. It's a 50-50 ball contested between Soto and Alfaro. I guess there was a little nudge. Yeah, he just kind of leaned in to Alfaro. And so it's a free kick in a very dangerous area for Costa Rica. We're 10 minutes away from second half stoppage time. The stakes are high in tournaments like these where the top two teams in the group advance. The team that wins their opener usually almost goes through, and the team that loses their opening game usually never go through. As the shot is saved by Ochoa. Another save for the U.S. keeper. Bottom left corner, Ochoa had it covered. He's looked very comfortable in goal tonight. I know. Isn't that crazy? I know. Yeah, that World Cup was good for CONCACAF. Yeah, because that's when the U.S. lost in the round of 16 to Belgium. I remember. But yeah, you're right. That was crazy. Costa Rica made it all the way to the quarterfinals. Didn't they beat? Was it the Netherlands in penalty kicks in the round of 16? If my memory serves correctly, I can't remember exactly. But yeah, Costa Rica had a fairy tale run in that World Cup. Yeah, they made it the furthest out of all CONCACAF teams. Yeah, meanwhile, a foul is committed by Fedon, and he will be booked. Third yellow card, making the fourth yellow card of the match. And now the U.S. will make their final two changes of the match. Hassani Dotson will be coming off. He'll be replaced by Johnny Cardoso. And also coming off is Jonathan Lewis. So those are the final two substitutions from head coach Jason Kreis. Free kick floated in, cleared away immediately by Costa Rica. Araujo came on for Jonathan Lewis, by the way. And now Cardoso trying to lay that down. It's sent the other way by Costa Rica. Now the U.S. under a bit of pressure at the back. And that's turned over in a dangerous area by Herrera. Now streaking forward, it's Marin. Marin for Costa Rica. And sliding in with a clean challenge was Glad. He does concede a corner, but it was a timely intervention from Justin Glad, who's had a really good performance for the United States this afternoon. "83 minutes in now. This game is coming down to the wire. Standing over the corner kick is Alberto Alfaro. Oh yeah, the Mexico-Dominican Republic game will be at the stadium, Estadio Jalisco. Excuse me. It'll be about 30 minutes after this one ends. So that's why there's more and more fans filing in. Here's the header off the post. Oh my goodness. That was the chance of the game. Montenegro with the header, and off the post and wide it went. Costa Rica are just coming closer and closer to that equalizer. Oh, it was actually redirected at the last moment by Fedon, excuse me. But he was offsides. I don't know if the flag ultimately went. I don't know if the flag ultimately went up. But he was offsides. I didn't realize that Fedon redirected that ball slightly with the chest. Wow, what a chance. Costa Rica not letting up in the final minutes. Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Costa Rica could have played against Mexico in the quarterfinals. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. That was, yeah, that was a fun World Cup. That was a fun World Cup. Probably because it was the last World Cup the U.S. were in, sadly. I mean, I enjoyed the 2018 World Cup in Russia, don't get me wrong, but it was a bit saddening with the U.S. not in it, I will admit. Nice steal by Cardoso. 5 minutes now till stoppage time. That deflects out for a U.S. throw-in. So, yeah, the fans are starting to file in slowly but surely for the second match of the doubleheader at Estadio Jalisco, where the host Mexico will take on the Dominican Republic in the other Group A match. Well, a loss for if Costa Rica lose here, they'll be in quite a bit of trouble because then they have Mexico on Sunday night, and they could be eliminated after that. If after that game, if they lose to Mexico, which is a real possibility. You never know though, but certainly Costa Rica would like at least a point from this game to give themselves hope of going through to the semifinals. It's lifted up, and now at the edge of the box, a nice 1-2, still going, and the left-footed strike in the end from Torres, blocked by, I believe it was Aaron Herrera, and yet another corner kick is on the way for Costa Rica. The opportunities keep coming for Costa Rica. Will they manage to put one away? Time is running out, that's for sure. And so standing over the corner is Alberto Alfaro. It'll be an outswinging delivery. The outswinging ball headed away only as far as Smith. Marine on the turn, and it's sent away by Perea. Well out of his box is Chamorro as he kicks it forward. It's won by the U.S. Ewell into Araujo. He's got Soto to his left and now finds Saucedo. And a Costa Rica free kick will be given, although it looked like it could have been a handball against the Costa Ricans. 2.5 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. We'll see how much time is ultimately added on here in the second half. Here is Alfaro. Now it's on the far side. In the middle, it's Salazar. A lot of these U.S. players have not played a competitive match since November, when the MLS season came to a close, because most of this U.S. roster is comprised of MLS players. In fact, 11 MLS clubs are represented on this roster. I believe there's only one, maybe two foreign players, but since the European seasons are going on right now, most clubs decided to hold on to their players rather than let them play in these Olympic qualifiers. There's a nudge from behind, another free kick for the U.S. It only plays to the United States advantage as they can tick some more time off the clock. It's actually played quickly by the U.S. all the way across for Vines, but he can't control the header. 89 minutes in the books. A minute to go until we are into stoppage time. Is there late drama at Estadio Jalisco in Guadalajara, Mexico? That's broken up by Saucedo. And now pressure here. It's won by Alfaro. Now it's carried forward by Farron. Wide for Smith. Now the cross. Headed to the back post. And there for the U.S. is Mauricio Pineda. Long ball here. Chasing it down is Araujo. And out of the box is Chamorro to send it out of play. And we have reached the 90-minute mark, folks. Stoppage time is upon us. And the board is raised. 4 minutes are added on here to the second half. As a player is down for the U.S. That appears to be Jackson Ewell. Looks like he's just cramping up a bit. He has risen back to his feet. Appears to be all right, just some minor cramping. So now here comes the throw. One v 3 here, and Costa Rica do earn the throw-in. Sent ahead by Perea, and off the bounce, that's comfortably dealt with by Chamorro. Chamorro will put it on the ground. 3 minutes left now. Jesus Ferreira's goal is the difference between the two sides. The only goal in this match. This is won back by the U.S., blasted forward, and that's off of Alfaro for a U.S. throw. The United States will be in no rush for any of these restarts. Can they grind out the result here in these final few minutes? It's Torres taking his time on the throw-in. Knocked away for a moment. One back by Cardoso. And that's saved along the sideline. Nice bit of skill from Erson Torres. And it's out of play. Last touched by Costa Rica. We're midway through stoppage time. 2 minutes left. Can the U.S. hold on for the 3 points? Ferreira plays it forward, and it's in the end passed back to Chamorro. Vines battles for the header. Araujo controls. 90 seconds left. Can the U.S. close it out leading by a goal? Rolled down the line by Saucedo. Heavy tackle. And it's last touched by Perea. Last chance, perhaps, for Costa Rica here. Exactly a minute remains. Rising up for the header was Glad. Now it's back with Salazar. Is there one last chance on the way from Costa Rica? U.S. with everybody back. Costa Rica with everybody forward. That's sent away by Pineda at the edge of the box. Chamorro comes up for Costa Rica. Taps it ahead for Salazar. 30 seconds remain. Another cross in. It can't be cleared by the U.S. Now it's Alfaro. About 10 seconds remain. Wide it goes for Torres. Torres with a nice move. Torres into the box. Goes down. No foul called. It was in the box. The U.S. clear. And there's the final whistle. It's all over. That will do it. The United States defeat Costa Rica in the opening game of the CONCACAF Olympic Qualifiers. The final score, the United States 1, Costa Rica 0. Jesus Ferreira's goal in the 35th minute, in the end, is the game winner and the only goal in this match. Nothing was pretty about it, but the U.S. got the job done. Time to rest up these next 2 days. Next up for them is the Dominican Republic on Sunday. Costa Rica with a tough defeat, that's for sure. A game they certainly deserve to at least get a point out of, but they could not do so. I think the U.S. I think they do need to make the Olympics, just because of the fact that the U.S. are they haven't made the last 2 times, so I think they got to get in. All right, you're leaving, Alex. I appreciate you tuning in. You're going to watch Mexico's game. No problem. I appreciate that. I do have social media. Yeah, I have on Twitter and Instagram. My account is Samuel Reese Sport. I'll put it here in the chat before you hop off. Here is my account. Mexico and the Dominican Republic is coming up next. That will do it for my broadcast, everybody, as the United States defeat Costa Rica 1-0 the final. Hope you guys enjoyed, as I am signing off saying so long. My next CONCACAF Olympic Qualifier broadcast will be tomorrow. I'll most likely do the second half of Canada versus the Canada game. I can't think of who they're playing right now. I believe they play Honduras, if I'm not mistaken, or El Salvador. Either way, I'll be on the call for the second half of that game I'm planning on, and then I'll be on for every United States game. That's what I plan on. So I'll be on the call for their game Sunday against the Dominican Republic. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'll also be on the call for some March Madness college basketball. Of course, March Madness in full swing. Looking forward to doing that as well. All right, no problem. Another viewer from Mexico. I appreciate that, Shingo. See you in the finals, indeed. We'll see if that's how it pans out, but certainly that's what's expected. All right, no problem. I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed. So long, as I'm Samuel Reese signing off for the final time. The final score, the United States 1, Costa Rica 0. Bye for now, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night.